If your wife still self-pleasures but avoids intimacy with you, would you even know? It's a question that can feel like a punch to the gut, but it's a reality in more homes than you can imagine. And gentlemen, there is a truth that leaves many men stunned. A woman in her 60s and beyond can be physically intimate without resistance. And the reason why is almost certainly not what you think it is. And ladies, if you have ever laid there wondering, why am I not reacting? Why don't I feel anything? Let me tell you right now, with all the warmth in my heart, you are not strange. And you are not alone. Today, I'm going to walk you through 5 medical and psychological reasons that explain what's happening. This isn't about blame, it's about understanding, empathy, and finally, reconnecting. I'm Sophia Lane. For 2 decades, I've dedicated my life to studying what happens to intimacy after menopause, physically, emotionally, and relationally. My mission now is simple: to help men understand women, help women reclaim their bodies, and help couples find each other again, with facts, not fiction. And if you take this to heart, you might just rediscover a closeness you thought was gone forever. Before we dive in, let me know where you're watching from. Comment your city below. I truly read them all, and it helps me feel connected to you. There's a pervasive myth in our society, a quiet assumption that says, getting older means the end of sex. It's a story we've been told for generations. But the truth is far more nuanced. Hormones change, yes. The body changes, absolutely. But desire? The human need for closeness, for touch, for intimacy? That doesn't just vanish, it transforms. I was speaking with a 68-year-old man last week, a wonderful gentleman named Robert. He told me with a deep sadness in his eyes, "I thought my wife just didn't want me anymore. It turns out, I had no idea how her body had changed. I was still trying to light a fire with wet wood." What an incredible way to put it. The thing that truly kills pleasure is not age. It's silence. It's misunderstanding. It's 2 people lying next to each other in the dark, both feeling lonely, both assuming they know what the other is thinking. That silence is a breeding ground for fiction. And today, we're replacing that fiction with fact. In just a minute, I'll share the one small change that brought a couple back together after 12 years of silent disconnect. Now, here is a fact that might shock you. According to research referenced by the Mayo Clinic, a significant majority of postmenopausal women, we're talking over 68%, still maintain the practice of self-pleasure. But here is the crucial part. The vast majority of these women never speak of it. Not to their friends, not to their doctors, and often, not even to their husbands of 40 or 50 years. Let me repeat that, because it's that important. Nearly 7 out of 10 women still have a need for physical release and pleasure, but they pursue it in silence. That silence creates a dangerous void, one that men often fill with incorrect assumptions. The most common one is this: my wife doesn't resist me, she doesn't push me away, so she must be okay with this. She must want this. And that assumption, though often born from a place of love and not malice, is profoundly wrong. It misses the entire story. So, let's begin to tell the real story. Here are the 5 truths that decode this silent behavior. The first and most critical truth is that a physical response, or a lack of one, is not the same as consent or desire. The common misconception, especially for men, is, she didn't push me away, therefore she wanted it. This is a pattern of thinking learned over decades, but it no longer applies, and here's the science why. As estrogen levels decline dramatically after menopause, the tissues of the vaginal walls become thinner, less elastic, and less lubricated. This is a condition known as vulvovaginal atrophy. One of its lesser-known effects is a change in reflex responses. The involuntary muscle contractions that a man might have associated with his partner's arousal can diminish or disappear. For the woman, this experience is incredibly disorienting. The physical signals her body used to send her brain, signals of excitement, of pleasure, of readiness, are now muffled or gone altogether. The dryness can cause friction and discomfort, even pain, which further short-circuits any potential for pleasure. So she lies there, not pushing you away, partly because the reflex isn't there, and partly because she's trapped in her own head, wondering, what's wrong with me? Why isn't this working like it used to? She feels a profound sense of disconnect from her own body. This isn't apathy, it's confusion, and often a quiet sense of grief. The solution here is not to try harder. It is to slow down. The solution is communication before you even touch, and the generous, non-negotiable use of a high-quality, safe lubricant. It's not a passion killer. It is the very key that unlocks the door to potential comfort and pleasure. Stick with me, because in 60 seconds, I'll show you the easiest way to bring pleasure back tonight. The second truth is about a powerful psychological phenomenon known as the frozen response. The misconception is, she's lying perfectly still because she's relaxed and comfortable. The reality, for many women, is the exact opposite. You've heard of the fight or flight response to a perceived threat, but neurologically, there are two other responses: fawn, which is to appease, and freeze, which is to become still, to dissociate. In an intimate context, especially after 60, this freeze response can be triggered not by a monster in the closet, but by internal anxieties. It can be a fear of pain due to dryness. It can be a deep-seated body insecurity, a feeling of being unattractive after a lifetime of changes. It can be performance anxiety, a worry that she won't be able to respond the right way and will disappoint her partner. When this happens, her brain essentially pulls the emergency brake. She isn't present in the moment. She is locked in a state of passive endurance. She is not consenting. She is simply not moving. To an unknowing partner, this can look like peaceful acceptance, but internally, it is a silent scream. The solution is to cultivate an environment of profound emotional safety. This means no pressure, ever. It means checking in, not with words of demand, but with words of gentle care. A simple, whispered, "Are you comfortable? Is this okay?" can be the difference between a moment of disconnection and a moment of true intimacy. It tells her that her comfort is more important than your release. Ladies, if this gave you relief, if you have ever felt that freeze and didn't have a name for it, type relief in the comments. You're not alone. Your experience is valid. One more myth to debunk. Then I'll walk you through a simple daily habit you can try to start rebuilding that connection. This leads us to our third truth. A lack of physical reaction does not mean a lack of emotional feeling. The false assumption is, my wife just has no emotions about sex anymore. The science tells us a different story. The central nervous system, the part of her that holds memories of love, of connection, of passion, still yearns for closeness. The emotional desire for intimacy doesn't have an expiration date. However, the body's ability to respond to that desire has slowed down. Think of it like a beautiful old lamp. The bulb inside, the desire, can still be perfectly bright. But the wiring, the connection from the switch to the bulb, has become frayed with age. You flip the switch, but the light flickers, or it takes a long time to turn on, or sometimes it doesn't turn on at all. For the woman experiencing this, it is deeply frustrating and often brings a wave of guilt. She feels like she is failing. She loves her husband. She wants to feel close to him, but her body feels like a stranger. She feels like she's letting him down because she can't produce the response he's used to. The solution is to redefine intimacy. It's to shift the focus from a performance-based goal to a connection-based experience. This is where things like massage, non-sexual touch, and simply talking before any intimacy is attempted become paramount. It's about warming up the engine slowly and gently, without the expectation that it has to roar to life on command. Gentlemen, if this is starting to change your perspective about what might be happening with your partner, just type "understand" in the comments. This is the first step. Before I give you the step-by-step for rebuilding, there's one more truth you need to hear first. The fourth truth is about the power of shame. The misconception is, she doesn't say anything because she doesn't care. The heartbreaking reality is that she often doesn't say anything because she is ashamed. Women who grew up in the 40s, 50s, and 60s were raised in a culture where discussing personal desires was taboo. It wasn't ladylike, it was private, and often it was a source of shame. Add to that decades of religious or cultural conditioning, and you have a lifetime of ingrained silence. She chooses silence not out of indifference, but out of a deep-seated fear of judgment. She's afraid of being seen as abnormal or broken. She's afraid of hurting her partner's feelings by telling him that what he's doing isn't working for her anymore. So, she defaults to the path of least resistance. Silence. She endures rather than expresses. The solution here falls heavily on the partner. It is about creating a space for conversation that is drenched in respect. It's about asking open-ended, non-threatening questions. Instead of, "What's wrong with you?" try, "Honey, our bodies have changed so much. I want to learn what feels good for you now. What can I do to make you feel more comfortable and cherished?" This question doesn't demand, it invites. It opens a door she may have been afraid to even touch. Coming up, the exact phrase that helped one woman tell her husband what she really needed, and it transformed their relationship. And this brings us to our fifth and final truth. It's the most hopeful one of all. Intimacy does not die after 60. It simply changes form. The myth is, sex after 60 is over. The truth is that intimacy is ready to evolve. It can move from being fast, goal-oriented, and purely physical to something slower, deeper, more soulful, and profoundly more connected. The new form of intimacy might look different. It might involve more sensual massage, more emotional touch, more shared vulnerability, and less focus on a singular climactic event. It's about finding pleasure in new ways. It's about self-care for both partners. It's about exploring what feels good now, in this new chapter, in this new body. It's a shift from a sprint to a slow, beautiful dance. For the couple willing to learn the new steps, this dance can be far more rewarding than the sprints of their youth. It's an intimacy built not on hormones and reflexes, but on a lifetime of shared history, trust, and a gentle, patient rediscovery of one another. If you believe that pleasure has no age, that connection can always be rediscovered, I want you to comment "ageless" below. Let's fill the comments with that belief. Now, as you listen to this, you might be feeling a deep sense of recognition. Ladies, are you losing sleep, feeling that persistent dryness, or wrestling with the feeling that you're not good enough for your partner anymore? Gentlemen, are you feeling confused, rejected, and lonely in your own bed? The silence in the bedroom can echo through the entire house. It's a painful, isolating experience, but it doesn't have to be your story. I've created a video that serves as a gentle guide to help you start this conversation and create that connection again completely naturally. It's about the small, simple steps you can take starting tonight. I've pinned the link to that guide in the first comment below this video. When you're done here, go watch it. Now let me speak to the ladies directly for a moment. You deserve comfort, you deserve pleasure, and you deserve dignity. At any age, this is your body. Learning to care for it, to understand its new language, is not a sin. It is not selfish. It is your birthright. It is freedom. And gentlemen, understanding her changing body is the most intimate, most profound gift you can give her. It is a gift that says, "I see you, I value you, I am here with you in this chapter, just as I was in all the others." Support first, pressure never. That is the mantra of a truly loving partner. What we've talked about today is a huge piece of the puzzle, but it's not the whole picture. Don't forget the foundations of well-being: a healthy lifestyle, gentle movement, nourishing food, and regular health checkups with a doctor who listens. All of these things contribute to your capacity for pleasure and connection. It's all intertwined. We have covered so much ground, and I want to thank you for staying with me. I want you to comment with one word that expresses how you feel right now. Is it relief? Is it hope? Is it support? Let me know in the comments. And don't go yet. The conversation is just beginning. The next video in this series is queued up for you. Menopause and Desire, 3 Mistakes Couples Make That Quietly Destroy Intimacy. It's showing on your screen right now. Click it, and let's keep this vital conversation going. And finally, if this video surprised you or gave you a moment of clarity, Please think of one friend your age and send it to them. A single share from you could help a silent couple find their way back to each other after years of quiet pain. It could give them the language they've been missing. Don't keep this to yourself. Thank you for being here. I'll see you in the next video. End of script.